Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first mentoring call of the week. We've got a couple of special guests this morning. We've got John Tuck, who's coming on to tell us about the withdrawals, go through that, and also update us on the payout situation. We've also got Elaine Downs. Elaine is responsible for Ron's CFX journey and going up the ranks, and Elaine is going to share her CFX journey with us shortly. And the purpose of our mentoring calls is obviously to try and allay everybody's fears and knowing what to say with getting prospects to the table. I'm not sure how many of you were actually on Ray St. Clair's training on Saturday, but he did a very good training about fear, rejection and momentum. Obviously, it's too much to go through today, and the recording is in the Telegram channel. But this morning, I thought we would just kick off with 12 minutes where Ray goes through the fear element of recruiting. So with that, I'm going to share my screen, and it's 12-minute video, and I'm going to press that and play that for us.
So, what is fear? F-E-A-R. Well, fear is a false expectation that appears to be real. What does that mean? Well, most people, when they're looking at anything in life, they immediately look back to something else that happened in their life and think that the thing that they're looking at is going to be the same. And Will Smith put it very, very succinctly when he said, everything you want in life is one step beyond your greatest fear. A friend of his took him skydiving and he did not want to jump out of the airplane. And this friend said to him, look, everything you want is one step beyond your fear. And almost pushed him out of the airplane. And Will Smith loves skydiving now, because he realized that it was the best thing that had ever happened to him. And he goes regularly, apparently. But he realized all he had to do was get past his fear and stop thinking what might happen and instead just enjoy the moment. And that's what most people do. They let their fear of something stop them enjoying something. Now, Deepak Chopra said this: most people use their past as a place of residence rather than seeing it as a point of reference. In other words, immediately somebody has to look at something or move forward into something, they immediately go back into their past and relive a negative experience to give them the excuse not to do the thing they're looking at. In other words, they're living in their past. We've heard that phrase many times, somebody's living in the past. This is what it means. They're using their past as a place of residence rather than seeing it as a point of reference. And I'm going to come on to that in a moment, okay? And this is why the fear of the past can steal your future, because you live in the past, okay? You don't live in the moment. And I live very much in the moment. Many people who know me know that I do a very strange thing when I travel up steps. I never look at the top of the steps, because if you look at the top of the steps, you're almost saying to yourself, whoa, what a long way to go to the top of the steps. You're projecting your fear into that situation. So all I ever do is look at the step that I'm on, and then the next step that I'm on, then the next step that I'm on, then the next step. And I only ever look at the step I'm on until I reach the top of the stairs. It's a habit with me. It's a habit I formed, and it's a good habit because it keeps me in the moment. If you look at dogs and cats and all animals, they don't have this humanistic failing of worrying about the future. They don't have any fear of the future. They only live in the moment. And if they see danger or another wild animal or wolf or anything, then that danger is in the moment. As soon as that danger is passed, they don't walk through the savannah thinking, oh, a wolf nearly attacked me 10 minutes ago, I better not walk forward. They don't do that. They live in the moment, and so should we. Instead of living in our past and treating our past as a place of reference, we should just see it as a point of reference. Now, somebody said this to me some time ago, and it's something I've never forgot. And we were talking about network marketing and fear. And he was one of my ex-mentors. And he said, mate, don't walk forwards looking backwards. I said, what? He said, don't walk forwards looking backwards. You'll bump into things. You won't get very far. I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he explained it to me. And I'm going to share that with you now. Okay. So most people have a past. We all have a past. And when most people in network marketing look at their past, all they see is failure and rejection and loss of money and loss of credibility. And they view their past with all those negative emotions. And then something comes along, like an opportunity, like Cash FX or something, which is about their future. So immediately what they do is they look back to their past and they look at all the failure and the rejection and the loss of money and loss of credibility with their friends and family, and they project all of that into their future. Because they say, oh, I did this Bitcoin business 6 years ago. Is this going to be the same? What a stupid question to ask. How do you know? Because if you're thinking of joining something or you're thinking of getting involved in something, you never know what's going to turn out. And you can't base that on your past experience, even if your past experience was a negative one. If people live their lives like this, nobody would ever have climbed Everest. Nobody would have ever gone into space. Nobody would have ever single-handedly crossed the Atlantic. Nobody would have ever got to the Antarctic if everyone did something once and then said, oh, everything I do in the future is going to be exactly the same because I did it that way. It doesn't work like that. And so what I learned to do was what my friend and mentor taught me to do, is that when I'm presented with an opportunity or a situation for the future, all I look at in my past, yes, I look at the failure, the rejection, the loss of money and credibility, but I view it differently. I view it as valuable knowledge gained through pain and loss. Valuable knowledge gained through pain and loss. When I come to look at my future decisions, I don't project all that negative energy into my future. What I do is I apply that valuable knowledge gained through pain and loss. I apply my knowledge, but I do not let it become a blockade to action or moving forward. I don't walk forwards looking backwards. I walk forwards looking forwards. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Okay. The best example of this is this gentleman here, which is Thomas Edison. I'm not a great fan of Thomas because he was a bit of a lunatic. He also ripped off Tesla with JP Morgan. However, you can't take away from the fact he was an amazing inventor. He invented the gramophone record player, and he invented what's called the incandescent light bulb. In other words, the light bulb without a flame. That's what incandescent means. And it took him about 4 years. Okay. And he failed thousands and thousands of times to make it work. And eventually, when he made it work and he took it to the patent office in New York, big buzz around the newspapers because of it. He walked out of the patent office and the young lad from the New York Post ran up to him and he said, Mr. Edison, how do you feel about failing 10,000 times? And Edison looked at him and said, son, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I simply discovered 9,999 ways not to do something. And that's how I treat my past. When I fail at something, and failure is necessary for success, as you'll see in a moment, when I fail at something, I don't immediately write my future off because of that one failure. I don't immediately start doubting on my future decisions because of that one failure. What I do is I look at the failure and go, okay, that didn't work. What can I learn from it? Where's the valuable knowledge in it? Where's the education in it? Okay. And listen, it might have cost me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 in loss. That's just the price of my education, because good education doesn't come for free. It's either going to cost you in time and money or both. Okay. It's either going to cost you in time or money or both. Education doesn't come for free. All right? And failure is necessary for success. The secret of success is not to focus all your energy on fighting the old, but on building the new. And this is one of the reasons why anyone who knows me knows that I don't spend my time trying to justify people's fears about the past. If somebody comes to me and says, oh, I was in a similar business, well, it's not similar because there's nothing like Cash FX. I was in a similar business 6 years ago on Bitcoin and I lost £20,000. Is this going to be the same? My first reaction is, I'm not going to answer that. So what I say to those people is, hey, I can't answer that question, but what I can do is I can show you how to make money with Cash FX. Would you like to do that? You see, I don't get involved. What I don't do is I don't amplify their negative energy. I don't even go there. And that's because leaders build. They don't spend their time justifying people's decisions or massaging their fears. People in the elite team who've come to me with these things and gone, oh, my friend was in a business 6 years ago and lost some money on Bitcoin. I'm not interested because I'm not, what should I say to her? Well, my standard response is, hey, I don't know anything about that. Can't help you with that. But what I can show you is how to make a lot of money with Cash FX. Oh yeah, but this business is the same as that business. No, you can't say that because Cash FX is this is today. Cash FX has been around for 2 years. I don't know how long that business was around, but I'm not interested. What I know is that today Cash FX has been around for 2 years. It's paying people. Now, would you like to make a lot of money with Cash FX? If you want to do that, I can show you how. But what I can't do is I can't justify all your past failures. And sometimes you need to have those conversations with people. Sometimes you need to shake them out of the grip of morbidity that they're in and say, look, I'm not playing that game. If you want to sit there and walk forwards looking backwards, that's up to you. Don't bring me into that situation. Leaders never focus on past fears. All we do is we spend our time building the future, not fighting the old. Okay? So that's a little bit about fear and how I personally and all the leaders in the elite team don't deal with it, because you shouldn't. And the minute you start dealing with people's fears, you're going to be there for ages and that person's never going to join, because all you're going to do is amplify in their minds their fears. Whereas if you just don't play that game and go, hey, I don't know about that, I can't help you with that, but what I can do is show you how to make money with CFX, which is a 2-year-old company that's paid out over 600 million in commissions. Now, is that something that interests you? If so, great, let's talk about that. If not, thanks for your time. I've got to go. I've got other people to talk to. So don't spend your time quagmiring yourself in other people's pity, failure, fear. Just don't do it. Just say.
Okay. Well, personally, when I started my journey with CFX, fear was the worst thing. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I say Ron was my absolute lifeline. And as many of you know on this call, we're all here because we have chosen option 3 on Ron's video, which is to make money fast and to get to that 100,000 pack as fast as we possibly can. I mean, Ron's done it in 15 months. John, I know, is well on his way. Elaine is well on her way. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what this business can do with us if we can just get over the fear and start pushing forward. Next Monday, we're going to play the second half of that rejection, and the following week, we're going to do momentum. But I'm going to go over to Colin now, who also wants to speak about the fear in recruitment. Over to you, Colin. Can you take the mic, please?
Sure, yeah. Thanks, Janet. And they were great words from Ray about fear. I think we can all relate to that. I want to take a slightly different tack on it. Fear can actually be an ally if we use it well, because fear can propel people into cash effects. Now, there's always the fear of starting something new. You know, what is this new thing? You know, is it safe? Is it risky? Is it a Ponzi? What's the cost? What could I lose? And you'll always come across these objections, but sometimes you can flip the script and say, okay, yeah, there is a risk. Everything in life comes with a risk. But what is the risk of you doing nothing? What is the risk of you staying where you are for the next year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years? What's the risk to your future, to your family? Will you have a future? Will you have a retirement? COVID is a fear. I was really scared when my income fell by over 50% during COVID. And if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be here today. Not directly, but through a chain of events, this led me to cash effects. So when you can get people to see the cost of doing nothing, then actually CFX becomes a no-brainer. It's the less fearful thing to do.
Yeah,
it's the cost of inaction versus the cost of taking a small calculated risk. And that's what got me here. And I'm sure there are other people here who could relate a similar story.
I'm sure there is. Could we then go to Elaine so you can share your journey, please?
Hi guys, nice to see you all. Quite a few have never met me, and trust me, that's a blessing. So please don't worry about that. Oi, Tucky, shut up. You can see from if I can move, the logo behind me is Team Spirit. I head up Team Spirit in CFX. That's a team of about 575 people now. And I personally, yeah, we're really pleased with that, aren't we, John? John is a big contributor to that amount of people, I have to say, and all power to your elbow, John. So I personally signed up 28 people. I signed up my 28th yesterday, a friend of mine. So I started CFX April last year, and Ron and Gail are my sponsors. I rejected it 3 times before Gail came to me for various reasons, because I was already in a couple of businesses and I was happy with what I had. I didn't want to be building. I wanted to be passive. That all went out the window, didn't it? So I just, no, I'm not interested. And eventually Gail came to me and said, look, Elaine, I want to get you on a call. I'm not telling you what it is. It's with a guy who's up there in multi-level marketing, and he's got something to show you. And I went, seeing as it's you, go on then. So I jumped on this leaders call, and it was Richard. And Richard went through the presentation. I thought, oh, actually, this CFX thing looks quite good. So he opened up his back office, and I went, oh, God, how do I get into this? I want a piece of this. And so I came off the call, got hold of Gail, and said, I'm in. I just need to get my hands on $300. So luckily, I have a bank of partner who sat on the opposite side of the room, who I mithered once more and said, Sue, I've just found this great thing. She went, oh God, now what? I said, because I've had many failures in the past. So she said, go on then. So bless her heart, she let me buy a pack. And I was coming into this purely passively. I wasn't going to do a thing. And within a month, I'd signed up the first person, because I started looking around at the good stuff on the internet, not the rubbish that's out there, and started watching, going on calls and thinking, this company are something I've never seen before. They're really good. So I showed it to my first friend, and she went, yeah, I'm in. And it just sort of went from there. So I started on the $300 pack April last year. I'm now on the 50K pack, 6,000 short of going to the 70K pack, which I'll do in the next couple of weeks. And it has been the best thing I have ever done in my entire life. I just love this business so much. It's incredible. It really is. And you guys have done the right thing in signing up, and just keep bringing people into this business, because like Colin says, what is the cost of doing nothing compared to risking £240, for goodness sake? or whatever $300 in America. It's tiny. The people will go out of a weekend when they could go out of a weekend with 6 friends and spend that on a night out and think nothing of it. Yeah, you show them this and they go, oh, I don't know. Nothing in life is guaranteed. You could step out in the front out of your house tomorrow and get knocked down by a double-decker bus. We have no guarantees, but we have to take the risk and we have to think outside the box. And if you do that, this is what you get. The most amazing company that I've ever been in, because I've never been able to build multi-level marketing companies before. I started with Amway in 1993. What a disaster that was. And every company I've gone into, I've had a maximum of 3 people in. That's it. This one is an easy sell. When people really look at the nuts and bolts and realize that it works, you can't not. You've got to fight them off to sign up. It's fantastic. So I think I've said enough, so I'm going to shut up now.
Thank you ever so much, Elaine. I saw Terry smile. Terry is also Amway and was doing the orange circles right in the early days. So
I sympathise, Terry.
Thank you very much for sharing, Elaine.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And obviously for pushing Ron right up the ranks. He is so happy. So happy.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is.
He's still rubbing his hands together. By the way, everybody, I should have apologised for him not being here today. He's actually had to go to a funeral. So that's why you've got myself and John and Elaine and Colin all stepping in, Jenny, all stepping in to help out. So John is going to take the mic and he's going to tell us where we are with the withdrawals. And he's also going to show us how we upgrade in the back office, just in case people aren't aware of just how to do it. And before we end, we'll be taking questions from anybody that wants to come on board. I know there's a couple, Ben and Stephen have got some questions, so we'll be doing all that before the call ends at 12 o'clock. So John, thank you very much. Over to you.
Yeah, you're right. Good morning. Yeah, they're pretty big shoes of Ron's to fill, aren't they? It takes 4 of us. Well, that just says it all, doesn't it, really? So going over the payment processes, I mean, I don't know how far you guys are along with numbers and things like that over the last few weeks. I don't know if you've been plugging into the Wednesday workshop calls. We generally go over figures there. I actually received a request on the 2nd of June, which was payment 1.19 million. And as of this morning, we're up to 30 days later, and we're up to 1.31 million. So over the last 30 days, they've processed approximately 120,000 payments.
Wow.
So that's, you know, I mean, there's quite a lot of payments coming through the system. Those numbers were increasing as they were working through the payment issues. But as that payment process has now been fixed, we're working towards shortening that number. So as they're increasing the batch numbers, those payments are coming through a lot quicker now. Obviously, we've still got volatilities of Bitcoin and things like that, but the software that had broken down, it was introducing double payments to certain people. And at one point, the company had issued $30 million in double payments. So obviously they had to stop payments to recover the costs, to repair the software, and then get things up and running. So that sort of really gives a bit of an indication of, you know, how big the issue was. But they've managed to get that sorted. Everything's back up and running, and we're closing that gap again. As you've seen in the Telegram groups, you know, Wascar's said that he's going to bring these down and up to the first week of July by the end of month call. We've got the end of month call tonight, and we're actually I'm not exactly sure where we're up to. There's some payments done on the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. So we're round into the first week of July, which is really good to know. So, you know, that's really good.
Thank you very much, John. Yes, I'm waiting for mine. I'm in the first week of July. We've got another few hours to go, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. That's it, mate. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Could you possibly share your screen and just run through the withdrawals and how we withdraw from within?
Yes, certainly. There is a video. We've done a couple of videos within Team Spirit.
Okay.
Sorry, I was running a bit late this morning, so I was on another call until about 10-15 minutes before this one started, so I didn't have enough time to prep. But what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you guys now. If you just give me a second. There's a new system, so I'm just still trying to get used to it, I'm afraid.
It's okay.
I'll get the code that we need. Come on, change it. Next level. I've plugged in different Wi-Fi today, so it's after me.
It really is good.
Keeping my money
I know
safe. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I know we cringe, but really, it is good.
Right, okay, let's get started. Okay, so if you were to do an internal upgrade, unfortunately, I can't one now today. I would love to, but unfortunately, I did an upgrade just a few days ago. I've upgraded to the 50K on my personal account. So if I had enough funds in my account, I would click the upgrade button, select the upgrade that I want to do. And if you were doing an internal upgrade, what you would do is drop this menu down and select your balance. You've got 2 more steps after that, agree to terms and conditions, and then continue. Now, obviously, I've not got enough money in there, so it won't let me continue. On the next page, if you've got enough funds in your account, which at this point, it would be the 20% would need to come off your pack value as well. You would just confirm the order, and within the space of about 5 seconds, that transaction's complete. I did that with Marina Winterford the other day, and within the space of 15 seconds, I actually got an email on my phone to say that she'd upgraded. So it is as simple as that. It takes less than 2 minutes to upgrade. I've sent the video out to people within my team. I've done a call. I called a few of my team members to jump on the other night with me, and the amount of people that have said, right, that's it, I'm cancelling all of my withdrawals and I'm just going to do an internal upgrade. Now, if people are starting to do that throughout the system, that's going to clear the backlog a bit quicker as well. It's so much of a better system. Fingers crossed for the end of month call tonight. Hopefully we've got some new news on that, and we'll see how things go. But yeah, so it's as simple as that, really.
John. I did one with somebody in my team the other day, and I was surprised how quick it was. So I was thinking about cancelling my withdrawals, but we work 2 packs together, like I know you do. So I'm toying with whether to just cancel it and wait and both of us withdraw from within, or take it out and with an upgrade one.
Yeah.
I don't know how long's a bit of string, and which way do you want to jump?
Yeah, we're fumbling away at the moment, trying to find the best avenue that's going to increase our growth the most. That's what this is all about.
That's right.
Doing the double account is definitely beneficial for your own growth. I mean, as you found out, you can use, it's like playing table tennis with yourself. You can use one to upgrade the other and backwards and forwards. So that, that's perfect. We do encourage that in our team. I'm not getting as much growth personally as I would have liked, but I'm encouraging my team to grow underneath me. So I'm basically forfeiting their fast starts so as they can get the fast starts, which in turn upgrades them, which is going to get me there in the end anyway. So, it's about the team, it's about building the team, and it's about, everybody being in a place where they can get to quick as possible.
As fast as possible,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. That favourite word of Ron's, duplication.
Exactly, yeah.
That's what it's all about. Okay, Colin, I believe you want to go to a couple of your team members that may have questions on here.
Right, yes. Ben, would you like to share your questions? You had a couple you fired in the messages. Ben?
Yeah. I'm not sure that I don't know how useful the questions would be.
Doesn't matter. Any question is useful. We can all take from everything that's said today. So please share.
Well, I kind of changed my mind about the one about the people in the States, so maybe I'll skip over that one.
Yeah, we can't do that yet. Perhaps we'll get some news on the end of month call tonight about that one.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It will happen eventually. It's just a waiting game. It will happen.
Mhm.
Okay.
You
And
want
you
to
had
share your other
another
question, Ben?
questions.
Sure. Yeah. Using Facebook and LinkedIn. I've always found LinkedIn much easier to use when just searching for people. I've always struggled with using Facebook when I search for people. But LinkedIn is a little bit more difficult if you're wanting to send a message to someone that you're not connected to. So it's easy to send a connection request, but sometimes you can't always send a message when you request a connection. So I'm just wondering, how important is the initial message that you send to a new person?
Makes me smile because I connected with Elaine on LinkedIn, who promptly came back and told me, thank you very much, but I'm already in CFX. I think you were one of my first connections, Elaine, on there. It was my first or second connection. But that's not answering your question, Ben. To be honest with you, I struggle with LinkedIn. Ray St. Clair has done a 5-hour presentation on how to work LinkedIn. It's on the Telegram channels, and he is talking about redoing it and bringing it down into bite-sized pieces. As I see it, the problem is we're all after the same thing, and who I'm connecting with, as I've just said, are people that are already in CFX. So Ray explains how to dig deeper into different groups, different keywords and things that you put in. I mean, I'm not a good person to explain this because I'm still learning it myself, but it's just getting deeper. Yes.
Yeah,
John,
yeah, I can
you
jump
help
in
me,
there. Yeah,
please.
so basically in the Telegram groups, Ray's got the Power Build folder. Now, I did that from the start. When he was doing it, I did it while he was doing it. So each week he was putting the videos in there and we were going on. What we actually did is I sat with my laptop and my phone. I watched the videos on the phone and I was actually programming LinkedIn how Ray suggested to do it at the time. I was pausing the video, doing the actions that needed to be done. It did take a long time, but once that was done, you know, there's samples of how to engage with people. You know, so it tells you like how to speak to the person in the first message. And it also, when they come back to you with something, there's also another message to say what you would say next. So it gives you a really good, strong foundation. But what I would add to that personally, now after using that system, is if you come across, put your personality into it. You know, people are going to like, you're trying to engage with people, you're trying to get them to invest in you, in your business. And the best way that they're going to do that, as I mean, you know, we've seen it with Ron, you know, his passion comes across and we all fell in love with that. So put your passion into that and the people, like, put yourself in there. And then when the people are engaging with you, it's not like they're engaging with a machine, they're engaging with a human being with feelings. And that gives them that little bit extra drive to want to communicate with you rather than just copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. So I adapt each message with a little bit of feeling behind it.
Yeah, thank you, John. Yes, Elaine. You wanted
All I
to
was going to
add
say,
that?
all I was going to say for Ben, to help Ben, was that every website is a search engine. So if you go into LinkedIn, you've got the search at the top. You can customize that. So you can put in the country of the people you want. You can put in either multi-level marketers, network marketers, direct sales, and you can get loads of people up. And if you do that first, then put the country in English-speaking countries, you might start with about 10,000 connections that you could connect with. But then you put in your country, English-speaking countries only, obviously missing out America and Canada at the minute. That reduces it quite dramatically down. And if you then do a couple of connections a day with those people, you will build up your connections on LinkedIn, you'll build up the base that you've got to go out with CFX. You can also put companies in, like, dare I say, Amway. There'll be a lot of frustrated Amway people out there who've never made a penny, and they'll be looking for something else. So you can do lots of different things. Play around with it, Ben. Don't be scared of it. You can't get it wrong. Play around with it.
And even if everybody on this call went after Amway, we probably wouldn't get them all. So, you know, everybody just go after Amway.
Yeah, you're right.
There's apparently 250 million network marketers on LinkedIn. So if we all did this, we still wouldn't run out of network marketers to attract. So
Yeah, it is getting down deeper, isn't it?
It is. You've got to drill down, and that's how you do it. And don't act like a robot. A lot of people in our groups have gone, I've been banned from LinkedIn. What did I do? Well, how did you do it? Well, I was connecting with 20 people a day. LinkedIn immediately know, and they stop it. So you have to do 2 or 3 a day. You have to be patient, but it works.
Yeah, thank you.
Just out of interest, John, how many have you actually got from LinkedIn?
I've actually signed 3 prospects from LinkedIn.
Brilliant.
I mean, it's, you know, I mean, the numbers are their numbers. You know, I mean, I've prospected quite a few. I don't give up on it. I mean, for me, I'm not a cold prospector. I'm not very good with text messaging and things like that. I'd prefer to get on a call. I prefer to see people's faces. I like to see how they react, and that's how I work. So I'm the same. Most of my sign-ups are that way. But so I've got 3 from something I don't even enjoy doing, really. You know, it's like it gets the numbers up. You know, it gets all of those no's out there. So, you know, you're working against objections, learning, getting out your comfort zone. You know, all these things are what's going to make you a much better multi-level marketer. Now, I'm speaking as if I've got loads of experience. I've been in multi-level marketing for 2 years. I tried a company. I tried a company for 1.5 years. Don't get me wrong, I went all in. You know, I played full out. I went to America. I done events. I tried to sell a product. It just wasn't happening. I found this, and the things that I'd learned from that company were totally applicable to this, and this has just exploded. So, you know, 2 years, and I've managed to grow myself a big business. So it's not a difficult thing to do, but you've got to keep stretching that comfort zone. You know, don't stop. It's a numbers game.
Comes back to that fear, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
That we started off with. Hi, Richard. Yes, you wanted to say something.
I just want. Hi, everybody, and
Hi.
I'm with Colin and Rob. I'm in Tokyo, Japan here, and nice to meet you all. I have a question for John. Sorry, I came on the call a bit late, and I just heard a number from you of $1.31 million or something like that. I may have misheard it, but I didn't quite catch the context of what you were talking about. So I got a bit lost. Could you just repeat that?
Yeah,
little
sure.
segment?
Okay. So I actually, one of my requests from the 2nd of June this year was processed 1.19 million transactions. We're keeping a note of the transaction numbers coming through the system. So to give you like a rough idea of how many they're processing at the moment, on the 2nd of June, 1.19 million was processed. And this week, we're around about 4th, 5th, 6th of July, and it's 1.31 million. So we're probably talking roughly 120,000 transactions that the company has processed in the last 30 days.
So, you know, they're catching up with the there was a backlog, and they're catching up. Yeah. Okay.
So
people have been paid from the 7th as well, John.
Some of them the 7th as well, right? Okay.
Yeah.
The 7th, right? That's a new one on me this morning. Brilliant. Thanks for that. Team effort. Fantastic.
Brilliant. And as you said, just in case anybody else was late on the call, that if we start cancelling our withdrawals and upgrade from within, it's going to clear the backlog even quicker.
I have just joined very recently with Rob and Colin, and I've just very recently purchased the $500 pack. So I'm right at the very beginning of this process.
Well done on your journey.
Yeah, for sure.
It's that first step. Brilliant.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right. Taking the first step, taking the plunge. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. Stephen, did you want to say anything this morning?
Hi, everybody. I know it's hard to see me, but I'm in a car right now. So Just real quickly, this goes with what John was saying about upgrading. Can I pose an upgrading question?
Yes, of course you can.
This would be good for people who are somewhat new or on a 2K pack or lower. What are the pros and cons of paying out of pocket to upgrade at the lower levels, or using your equity or profit to do it? And to give you some context, I'm at a 500 pack and I've already have about 500 even earned, right? But to upgrade within, I need 625, which includes the withdrawal fee, right? So I still don't have enough. But 10 days ago, I bought about $350 of Bitcoin and it shot through the roof. Now it's close to $500. Doesn't it make sense for me to spend money out of pocket in the early stages and leave the profits in there and not really care about doing it the natural way and, you know, not taking any money out? What are some pros and cons of that? If anybody wants to chime in on that.
In on that one, the pros and cons for me were, I started on the $300 pack. For the first 4 weeks, I sat there watching $2 come in. In the first week, I mean, I didn't have the funds. I couldn't afford to buy the bigger packs. So I sat there watching $2 come in every day. And I was devastated by the end of the week when I only made $10. I'm saying, you know, I need to get more money into this. And eventually ended up, I put 1,000 of my own dollars in. So that got me to the $1,000 pack. You know, I was generating $36, $37 a week. To me, that was a more acceptable level. Now, if I had any more, I would have been scoring. Now, I felt comfortable straight away. That's just me. I was skeptical. So go in where you feel comfortable. That's the best advice I can give you. You know, if you've got the $500 sitting there, the benefit of you putting those $500 in rather than waiting would be that you're going to start generating a bigger income quicker. You've also left some money within the pack. So as you're generating that bigger income, there's more going to be in your back office quicker. So it's going to generate the next level upgrade internally quicker. Does that make sense?
Thank you for that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we had a conversation at the weekend about it. I was just trying to explain about not putting any more money in out of your own pocket, unless, of course, you are comfortable to do that.
Yeah.
So each to their own, isn't it? It's how fast you want to get there. If you're not growing your team quick enough and you've got the funds, then boost yourself up.
Definitely.
But you will get it back eventually. Is there anyone else that would like to say yes, please?
I forgot to mention a pretty important aspect of my story. What an idiot I am. Because I work the business, I ranked up to executive last year. I can't do a rate. I have no idea what the amount of days it was. He's anal when it comes to this stuff. I'm not. So I ranked up to executive. And then, when did you go up to manager, John?
I got it on the 30th of June.
Right. So I was just a couple of days behind you, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Early July. So I went up to manager early July, and that's why Ron was able to go up to director. So I just thought I'd better put that in because that's what he got me on the call to say.
Yeah, well done, Elaine. Brilliant.
I'm glad you got that right, Elaine.
And,
Eventually.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Leslie, I think you want to say something.
Yes, can you hear me?
Can hear you, can't see you.
Yep.
Okay. I would like to upgrade. I have, but can I upgrade internally if I have to send Bitcoin?
No.
No. So I have to withdraw what's in there to upgrade.
Okay. So do you know what upgrade pack you want to go to? Do you know how much is in your balance at the moment?
Yes, I want to go to the 5. I'm in a 3. I want to go to 5K. I have 1,000 in there, but I have some Bitcoin in my wallet that I can.
No, at the moment, you don't have enough to do an internal upgrade. And as of today, there is no facility to do a part internal and a part external. So you've got 2 choices on what you can do. You can either wait until you've got enough money in your back office, or you can put a withdrawal request in and wait for that withdrawal request to complete and then do an external upgrade.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Leslie. Who else haven't we been to this morning? Jenny, you're sitting there quietly. Have you got anything to add this morning?
Well, I was lucky to do my own internal upgrade over the weekend. And like John said, it took me 2 minutes, if that. So it was my business account that upgraded, and personal account picked up the commissions from my business account upgrade. So I've dropped about 8 weeks off of my personal account upgrading to the next level from 3 to 5. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. And that was my first internal upgrade in my business account. So very stoked.
Yeah, it's very quick, isn't it? Very quick.
It was very quick.
Okay, Roberto, good morning to you. Could we hear from you, please? Have you got any questions or anything you want to ask or add?
I don't have any questions. I'd just like to say hi to everybody. This is my first time on the call, and as Richard mentioned, with him and Colin, under Colin's team, and very happy to be here. So it's a pleasure to meet you all.
And it's a pleasure to meet you too. And good luck on your journey. And never hesitate to ask any questions in the group. There'll always be somebody around to help you and answer them for you. Okay, thank you. Andy, good morning. How are you feeling? A bit better? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm getting there slowly. I've just recovered from my hernia up.
Okay.
Regarding fear, I've had a few calls which I've been on, and I've had quite a few rejections and saying it's a scam. So I've just like blocked them and moved on. I mean, it's something that when you get rejection, it's very hard to move on, but you've just got to put that behind you and just focus on what you're doing and just forget the past. Like Ray said, it's hard, but with rejection, you sort of lose your confidence. But I'm finding that I've just got to let that past go and move on, which is, like Ray said, it's so true, you know, because fear will basically
Kill you.
Kill you, yeah.
if you let it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Right. Ray also mentions fear felt found. Okay, so we can feel what's happening because we've been through it. And what do you do about it? So from me, for a personal point of view, what I would do on that one is, you know, you've been rejected. Okay, take that away and then write down like a few of the negative aspects of it and approach that slightly differently. Now, you'll find that when people start talking to you and they're putting this negativity on you, you absorb into that and you start answering into those questions. It's better if you can withdraw from that slightly, look at it from the bigger picture and come at it from a different angle. And once you've gone through a few objections, you know, and you come up to the same objection again, when you thought about it, how could I have handled that differently? You handle it from a different way. Now, it might be that you get rejected again and again and again, but every time you get rejected, it hurts because it does hurt. Let's face it, we don't like rejection. When you do face that rejection, you know, you become stronger, you become better as a person and better able to handle that rejection until in the end, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah, another thing I find is, well, it's like when you get your prospects, they'll come along and say, oh, come and join this and that, but I've got to be strong because sometimes you get sucked into it and you've just got to think, right, no, I'm not interested, because you can easily get sucked into it and you spend a lot of your time focusing on what they're trying to sell you rather than what you're trying to sell them.
Yeah, you've got to cut it dead, Andy. Definitely. You've come a long way. I've seen you come a long way. You've got quite a thick skin now when people hurt you, so to speak. So yeah, just stick to your guns. CFX for you all the way. If they want to join, fine, and if they don't, bye.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Elaine wants to add something to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Andy, what John mentioned about the feel, felt, found. What you
Yeah.
actually can do is you can say to them, yeah, I understand how you feel. I felt like that in the beginning too, but I have found since being in the company that they are 100% genuine, and give them all the good stuff. So just write that down. Feel, felt, found, because that's a good way to turn them around, because you're getting on the same page as them.
Yeah.
You're not confrontational. You're not trying to back their arguments. You're just emerging with them. Think, I know how you feel because I felt like that too. And suddenly their defenses drop.
Yeah.
Because they get defensive when you start trying to go back to them, saying, no, that's wrong, this is wrong. People don't like being told they're wrong.
No.
Nobody does.
No.
So give that a go as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's excellent. Please don't forget that Ron does the one-on-one mentoring. We've all got our groups where he wants you to put your leads, things you're saying in the groups, and he and I will actually give you the messages to respond to. So Karen's using this. There's lots and lots and lots of messages coming through from Karen, but a lot of the other groups tend to have dried up a little bit. So I don't know whether you're going it alone or what you're trying to do, but believe you me, we all know where Ron's got to and the team size that he's built. So he's the guy to help you with the scripts. Don't be fearful of putting it into the group and let us help you with the replies. Karen, you're doing quite well, aren't you? If you could take the mic, please.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot out of the putting my scripts into and getting responses from you and Ron. So that's really helped me a lot in stumbling over some things. And not that I'm getting automatic yeses from anybody, but it's just that a more fluid way,
more confident,
a different way of responding to people than I was before. Just kind of tweaking what I was saying to people before. And like today, I have somebody from May that just came back to me, and I started in February, started trading in March, so I'm pretty new. But there was somebody in May that said he was thinking about it, and he actually came back to me. I asked him how he was doing. He said he's ready. And today we're going to do he's asking me about how he can start. So I'm going to do a Zoom. And I was asking in the chat if I should if I should bring somebody else in on my Zoom or not. And even though I have a team now, I think it's 10, but each time it's a little different. And with the mentoring, I'm trying to learn more and more how to improve myself, and therefore my team, because they're all watching what I'm doing. And a lot of them are on this call today, thank goodness. So
have you not got your sponsor coming on the call with you, Karen?
I'm sorry, my sponsor?
Have you not got your sponsor?
Yeah, Raymond Merritt is on there with the picture, but he's at work. I know that.
There he is.
He showed
He's
up.
in his car driving.
He's working.
I'm on my way to work.
He's listening. Yeah.
So Raymond, who's your sponsor? Would they step in to help Karen?
Actually, Ray's brother, Richard, is my sponsor, but I don't think Richard is much active. Ray kind of put me under Richard, so I would say Ray was more or less my active sponsor.
Right, okay. I think you should have somebody else on the call with you for backup. I would offer, but I've got a succession of calls today. What time is it? Just to see if I could do anything to help you.
I didn't touch base with him. It is 6 a.m. Well, it's almost 7 now. Yeah, and he's an hour ahead of me in Bermuda. Whoa, that's right. We went on our honeymoon in Bermuda, so brings good memories back.
Don't clash it with the end of month call though, will you? That is one call you don't want to clash it with.
Well, I was thinking maybe of inviting him on it if he's available.
So what's the thoughts on that? I mean, that's something that I've wondered about. Should it be something we bring someone on that hasn't actually joined the business yet?
Well, there's a live YouTube link out there, isn't there? There's a live YouTube link out, so you can't stop
anybody.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's on the CFX team YouTube channel. It's out there live. Anybody goes on that, anybody can get on the call.
Okay, so what I would do then?
Should we draw his attention to it though? is what I'm
So,
saying, if he's not
I mean,
sure.
what you could do is, I mean, this could be a part of it, a part of your engagement. This could be a part of your learning. So what you could do is you could say to them, look, here's the YouTube video, the YouTube link. Go on. If you've got any questions, I'll try and answer them. Now, if they come back to you, jump on a Zoom call with them. And if you can't answer the questions, look, just be honest with them. Say, look, you know what? I don't know the answer to this question, but I can find out for you. So what you do is you write their questions down. Say, look, have you got any more questions? You take a list of every single question they've got, and you come back to the group. You put it in the group. Janet will be able to answer. Ron will be able to answer. You know, and if you, I mean, you could keep coming backwards and forwards doing this. You could give the replies in email. You could address them on another Zoom call and say, I've got the answers to all your questions. Are you ready to go now?
Love that. Yeah, love it.
Okay, pop in the group when you've got the Zoom call time sorted, and we see what we can do for you, Karen.
Okay, great.
All
In fact,
right,
it's
thank
funny
you.
because his first question when we were chatting in May was, he said, I don't know anything about Panama. There's some companies that are weird out there. And it was all this negative stuff about Panama. And that's what I was thinking. I might invite him on the call today on the end of month, so he'll see that it's up and up.
Okay, nice one. Okay, brilliant. Sandra, how are you getting on? You're muted, Sandra.
Unmute myself there. I'm doing good. I actually got to meet Karen and David yesterday, and that was awesome. So, you know, we're real people and we know each other, not just on the internet. And so I'm working on recruiting people, and I have upgraded one time and I want to upgrade again. And I Bitcoin's just plugging right along there. So I'm almost have enough Bitcoin to do it.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you very much for sharing. Who haven't we gone to? Terry, have you got anything to add to the call this morning, or do you want to sit quiet?
No, I could always add a little bit, only from the basis of background in network marketing and having been in Amway. Well, but it depends. You know, we've seen a lot of people that lost money in Amway, but I put in so much time. I think I put more time into it than I did my full-time job, and it took 7 years staying with it. But I was able to give up my job because of Amway, the Amway income. But it was it's just a few. You know, only a few actually get up there, but you have to work like a Trojan to do it. But that's all really. I mean, I'm picking up a lot of information here. Yes, but there is things, a lot of network marketing, the fear of failure, etc., etc. Yeah, we know that. Not everyone's going to have the same mindset as you. You know, if I used to be a design draftsman. You know, you're never going to get a landscape gardener who want to sit all day in an office if I offered it to him to come and do what I do. And like this business, as good as it is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Their fears, their background, their worries, lack of money, whatever it is. But I've created. I've not got a big enough team at the moment, but I've actually created a couple of folders on my email, and one of them is for people that I've talked to who said that they're not interested. And I said, would you like me to let you know how I'm getting on? So literally every Saturday or Sunday, when the bonuses come through, I let them know what percentage we had, just to keep them there. It keeps them on a link, because at some time they may turn. Other than that, you know, Phil found, yeah, we learned all that in Amway, you know, because one of the things is, if you're hitting an objection, if you try to fight it, that objections get stronger. The first thing is, say, I agree with you. Now you're on the same side. They can't argue, say, no, you don't. Don't agree with me. Yeah, I agree with you. And that, I felt the same way when I got in. Crikey, do I want to lose money? I've lost money in the past, but do you know what I found out? I got on the inside, and I learned and I listened to people who were making money, and I sat there and just started. The best way to learn anything is from the inside, not from the outside. And and I'm finding, well, I'm getting so excited about this business now. I'm getting excited as I was when I first saw Amway, because I went to sleep and saw circles all over the ceiling and for Amway, and I could not sleep. And I knew the first 6 people I was going to talk to were going to get in. How wrong was I? I've got more credibility with cold contacts than you do with some of your family. That's all I can add at the moment.
Definitely.
As my team grows, and it's going to be growing this week as well, actually, as it grows.
Thank you very much. That's brilliant. And I can imagine who you've got in your folder. Yes, Elaine.
I just wanted to offer Karen and David a solution. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, but if it's not too late tonight, I'll jump on the call with you and talk to your prospect. Okay?
That's very nice of you, Elaine. Thank you.
Not at all. I just don't want to step on anyone's toes, but I do it all the time and I enjoy doing it.
That's what we're a team, aren't we? Whether we're in each other's teams or not, we are a team. That is excellent. Oh, hi,
so let's
John.
connect.
Sorry.
Right, I'm done.
Thank you, Elaine. Jonathan, you're sitting there ever so quiet. Is there anything you want to add or ask or comment on this morning before we close up?
No, I'm okay. And actually, I thought I'd got away with it today, not been asked anything, but there you go. You're
Oh, we can't have you not
a couple of
speak.
things that's been asked, which I would have asked the question. So, no, I'm okay at the moment. Thank you very much indeed. All I can say is that I'm enjoying being with CFX and the people in it. I think are brilliant. Everybody helps everybody else. It's just wonderful. It really is. Thank you all.
Girl, thank you, John. I think we all feel the same way, don't we, guys? It's brilliant. CFX rocks. Okay, we're nearly at the close of play. In fact, we're slightly over. Paula, quickly, did you want to add anything?
I am enjoying this call this morning, and like Sandra, I was able to meet Karen and David yesterday when they were driving down to Florida, and it was great to be able to meet them in person. So yeah, thank you guys. And like Ben and everybody else from the United States, we're waiting. We're really waiting and anxious for the US and Canada to open back up.
I think we all are, whether you're in the States or we're not. We've all got people on our waiting list. Okay, guys, well, it's 6 minutes past 12. I think we should close this down. Thank you very, very much for everybody coming on and for all your input and your support. See you on the next call. Take care, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.